Hey, it's Bronwyn from Rap. I chatted about reggaeton a few sessions ago, and today I'm working on a new reggaeton track called Stop to Remember. So I thought I'd go through some really awesome analog style techniques for vocals with you. I just want to explain a few key points about analog before we get to hear how it sounds. I'm working with the Eddie Kramer tape plugin, and it's available from Waves and based on the Ampex 350 and 351 machines. Now, there are two main factors that determine the quality of recording made on any analog deck, and these are tape speed and tape width. Generally speaking, wider tapes run at faster speeds, and the track width depends not only on the actual physical width of the tape, but also on the number of tracks that are accommodated on the tape. The format that's most commonly used is actually quarter-inch tape, which is running at 7.5 or 15 inches per second. And this meets minimum standards for broadcast audio quality, and it also is reasonably economical. The lower speeds offer better low frequency response. You get a bit of high frequency loss, and then your higher speeds offer a more full range signal with slightly less low end. Look, the faster speeds are reserved for professional use because they have the greatest range due to less wow and flutter, and also because of their better frequency response. Let's talk about wow for a moment. Wow is a relatively slow variation in the frequency of the reproduced sound, which is caused by slow speed variations in records and tape recorders. And pitch fluctuations of 1 or 2 per second are then classified as wow. But faster variations of those fluctuations are called flutter. Now, wow and flutter, it's almost never an issue in digital recorders because tape speed really doesn't really have that much effect or direct effect on the pitch of the audio playback or recording. So using the wow and flutter control over here and increasing it will make for a rougher, more worn sound, which really helps you dial in that old school analog feel. When recording to tape, there are two monitoring modes available. That you have the input monitoring, which lets you hear the signal as it reaches the recording head, including the tube and the mic pre-saturation. And then your repro monitoring lets you hear the output of the repro head just like a normal tape playback, meaning that your tape speed, bias, flux, wow, flutter, the noise, in addition to the mic pre-saturation and the tube saturation, all affect that monitored output. Now, bias over here is actually an ultrasonic signal which is added to the recording in order to reduce limitations of the magnetic medium. Overbias means that you just basically add more gain than the manufacturer recommended. In a lot of engineers claim that it gives a better sound. I think it just really depends on the session and on the machine and the situation. So you need to experiment with that a little bit. On this particular track, I've just used nominal bias. Right, let's have a look at flux. Now, flux really simply is essentially a gain factor that reflects a higher level passed onto the record head. Older tapes were designed to handle lower flux levels, and modern tapes could withstand much higher flux before distortion occurred, resulting in relatively low noise. Remember that noise in analog machines is a combination of the tape hiss generated by the analog tape, as well as the thermal valve noise of the reference machine's input and output electronics. So a lot of people think that noise, when you think analog, is just that analog hiss, that sound. It's not. It is a whole combination of the actual machine itself. So you can dial in the noise factor over here as well, just for that authentication of getting the feel and the sound of those particular machines. We use the machines for slap and feedback echo effects, and these are created when you're monitoring the incoming and the reproduced signals at the indicated speed. So for this track, I've actually chosen to use a nice slap effect on the vocal, and I've also chosen to drive the input a little bit just to get a little bit of extra grit into the vocal. And have a look at the settings here for the flux and the wow and the flutter, for the noise. Check my bias and the tape speed as well. And we'll have a listen to the track now. And I'm going to bypass the machine and then I'll switch it in so that you can really hear the difference. I've got the vocal in solo at the moment, so we'll just hear what's happening on the vocal, and then I'll put it into context with the rest of the mix. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you again next time.
I can't stop to remember, and I am capable to leave you forever. Maybe I should surrender. Forget it, oh baby, it's time that I let you go. Baby, it's time that I let you.
Right, let's have a listen to that track in context.
I can't stop to remember, and I am capable to leave you forever. Maybe I should surrender. Forget it, oh baby, it's time that I let you go. Baby, it's time that I